Oh, did it say recording in session? Hi, I think it is recording. Hey, and welcome to another video. I am TavonaStarO, and I am the host of Saved and Manifested. Saved because I am saved. I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. I believe that He died and rose again for my sins, and so I'm saved. And manifesting because as much as I believe God is outside of me, all around me, I know that God is inside of me. And it's that same power that causes me to um, do what the Bible says, whatsoever things you desire when you pray, believe that you have them and they'll be yours. That is the process of manifestation, which really isn't a process at all, but that's a whole nother video. So saved and manifesting. Also, a note saved and manifesting because multiple things can be true about people at the same time, all at once. And that is the beauty of being a human being. Okay. We are all multidimensional. You are a spirit with a soul inside of a body. So if you don't pay attention to anything else I say in this video, please take heed to that. Okay. Because that's everything. Okay. That's the jewel right there. All right. So this week we're going to be talking about people pleasing, and I'm going to tell you how to stop people pleasing. Okay. Now, people pleasing in relation to manifesting the law of assumption and things like that. But a lot of what I say in this video, hopefully it won't be too long, is going to just be useful for life and other areas of your life, whether you are intentionally manifesting, I would say, or not, but you're always manifesting. So I won't even say that. But yeah, so let's talk about how to stop people pleasing. Okay. So, how do you know, number one, if you are a people pleaser? Okay. If you cannot make a decision without somebody telling you yay or nay, um, then you might be a people pleaser. If you do things or make decisions based off of people's approval, people's validation. If you do things to be accepted by people, whether it's your parents, a friend group, somebody you're in a relationship with, um, if you let people control your life, what you do, how you behave, you're probably a people pleaser. If you perform for people, okay, and I'm not talking about influencing. I'm not talking about TikTok. I mean, like, if you feel like you have to put on a front, um, to either make people more comfortable or make people like you or to be accepted, you're probably a people pleaser. Um, if the opinions of people, if people's opinions about you control you, okay, if people's opinions about you make or break your mood, if it makes or breaks how you feel about yourself, what you think about yourself, you might be a people pleaser. Okay. And everybody, I think initially, like we all have a little bit, if you're not there now, you've probably been there before. But I feel like everyone has at some point in their life um, been to a place where, you kind of want, you want people to like you and, you want everything to just be cool. You want to be a likable person, right? Or you want to be accepted. Because God forbid, you be by yourself for a little while. What I'm finding out is like a lot of people really can't like be by themselves. So they get in relationships that they really don't want to be in. They get in friendships where this is more common. Now I'm ranting, but this is early in the video too, which is crazy. This is something that I notice is like very common is that people stay in friend groups with people that they know are like genuinely not their friend. And that's just something I've never been able to understand. But enough about me. But those are some of the ways that you can identify being like a people pleaser. Okay. And how to stop. Okay. So I don't have like steps to this. Like I'm really just kind of going off the top of my head. Like I'm talking to you as though I would talk to somebody I know, and I do know a lot of people who just cannot get a grip on people pleasing. Um, and so even if it's not like very like obvious, right? If you are not able to think for yourself, if you cannot have your own opinion apart from a collective of people, if you cannot formulate your own opinion apart from a group or another person, then you are more than likely a people pleaser. Okay. And what I find interested is that this generation is very like self-aware to some degree, but I also feel like the larger part of like society is just very much like following, like very much like parroting. Like somebody has a thought, you see it as a meme on social media, and you adopt that same belief. Like I can honestly say around me, I don't have enough people around me who ask questions. If you don't ask questions and you just kind of take like what you hear at face value and you adopt that as your own belief, like you're probably a people pleaser. Okay. And the number one way, okay, this is what I have to offer you. The most powerful thing you can do when you decide that you are going to stop being a people pleaser is to learn how to trust yourself. Learn how to trust you. Learn how to trust yourself. Okay. That's how you're going to get out of the grip of people pleasing, is by trusting you. Okay. You have to be able to trust yourself. You have to be able to trust your decision making. You have to be able to trust in your own mind. You have to be able to trust yourself. Okay. Now, the way to trust yourself is to spend time with yourself. Okay. Number one, when it comes to trusting yourself, you need to develop like a rapport with your own self. And that comes by like spending time with yourself, just sitting down and checking in with you and really figuring out, okay, what do I like? What do I want? How do I feel? Like you need to be able to take some time apart from social media, apart from TikTok, apart from your friends, apart from your, whoever you're in a relationship with, apart from your family, like sit with yourself and really figure out like what it is that you want out of your life, what it is that you want out of yourself, what it is that you want to accomplish, what it is that you like, what is it about you? Like you need to be able to check in with you and have a relationship with you enough to where you trust like your instincts, where you trust your judgment, where you trust in your own ability. And a lot of people don't trust themselves. A lot of people don't trust their judgment. A lot of people don't trust their ability to make decisions. And I believe that it's because somewhere along the line, you've been taught to believe that like you get it wrong. And I see this a lot in church. It's interesting because in church, like you think about it, sometimes some people, there are a lot of people who are in church like 2 or 3 times a week, okay, for hours. All right. And you think about like a lot of sermons in church are very like, I don't want to say abusive, but kind of oppressive, right? So you hear a lot about like what's wrong with you and how you are a sinner and how, you um fall, and you hear about warfare and like struggle, right? And while, in church you're taught to depend on God, um what we're not taught enough, right? What I just in all of my years, and I do, like I said, I'm a God girl. I was raised in church, been in church a long time, like all most of my life. And what I can say is you rarely hear preaching about how like as much as God is like above you and he is Lord and he is sovereign and he wants your life and he wants your body, right? He wants all of you. He wants you to serve him with all of your heart, all your mind, all of your strength. What they don't preach enough is that like God is also in you. Okay. And the manifestation law of assumption community, they get this. And they don't get it from like a standpoint of believing in God, but they just get it in a standpoint of like identifying like as God, right? Now, whether, they believe in God or not, they still get a principle that tongue talking, shouting Christians just don't understand. Okay. And that principle is that God is in you. Okay. And because God is in you, right? If God is righteous, God is holy. Your righteousness, your holiness is not because of you, but it's because of Christ and what he did. Then those same attributes, right? If any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Then the things that make you unrighteous, the things that make you filthy rags, things that make you dirty, just outright dirty, filthy, worthy of death because of sin. If any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away, and behold, all things are made new. Then all of that old stuff that made you unworthy does not apply, right? If I'm in Christ and I made a new creature, then anything prior to being made a new creature don't apply to me. So this belief that you are not capable of making decisions without God, or you get it wrong. If you're taught that you make mistakes all the time, that you're a sinner, that you do everything wrong, and some people it ain't even religious, right? Some people grow up in families where your parents may be critical, and it subconsciously teaches you or programs you to believe that you can't get anything right, or every time you show up things just go wrong, and like stuff is just chaotic. Some people, you're taught to believe like everywhere you go chaos just breaks out and it's just drama. I know some people who are addicted to drama. I really do. I know some people who love a good gossip, drama, all that. But like if you hear long enough, if you've been hearing all your life that you know you're not smart enough, you don't know what you're doing, you don't make the right decisions. If you come from a household, or if you got people around you that do everything for you because um they they just want to like control, right? They just want control. So they make decisions. They think they know what's best for you. So they determine what school you go to. They determine what type of person you marry. They determine the type of jobs you get. They determine where you live. A lot of people are so connected to their family and their parents or their siblings to where like if you meet somebody that's not what your family thinks is the type of person you should be with, they won't even like build a relationship or commit to somebody that they actually love because of the approval or the disapproval of their family. Okay. And subconsciously, what it teaches you is that you're not worthy, that you are not enough, and that you do things wrong, right? That there's something wrong with you, that you are broken, that you are not capable of like knowing what's best for yourself. You are not capable of making decisions. Okay. And today I know people, like I said, I know people who will not make a decision. And they're mostly from church. And what I see from the church is that they depend on God to do everything. When the reality is, not only is God outside of you, but God gave you a brain with multiple components, okay, multiple compartments, a left hemisphere, a right hemisphere. God gave you a brain, and God gave you the power. If you're not like medically or mentally, like if you don't have any deficiencies when it comes to your mental capacity, if you are a healthy, whole person with a brain, God gave you a brain to use. And a lot of Christians won't even use their brain to even make a decision because they're just waiting on God to give them some type of sign in the sky, send them a message in a bottle or something on a parachute. I don't know what they're waiting for, but like they spend a lot of time waiting. And I know people who will wait for years to even figure out where they want to move to. They want to move so bad, but they won't move because they wait on God. And they're waiting on God because the truth is you don't trust yourself. And if God is in you, then Not only are you trusting you, but you're trusting God in you. Who is you? That makes sense. I just trust that that makes sense, right? Like you have God in you. Okay. So you're waiting on God outside of you when God is in you. And all you really have to do is just sit somewhere with yourself and check in with God in you and say, I want to move. What type of place would I like to move to? What are some things that are important to me? What are some things that are important enough for me? Like, what would it take to make me move somewhere and feel comfortable? Like, what do I need? What type of apartment or home would I like to live in? What would I need to live in this place? Or like, just like sitting with yourself and figuring out like, what do I want? And it's really sad because a lot of people are taught to live for the approval, the applause, the acceptance of other people that you forget that nobody is living in your body but you. Nobody. Nobody. So when you get through waiting for people to say, yeah, you got it. Yeah, girl. Okay, do that. Don't do that. No, no, no. No, 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 no. Like while you're waiting on the yes and no of people, right? People can give you counsel, they can give you instructions, they can give you advice all day long. They can give you their opinion all day long, right? But they still don't live behind your face. They don't live behind your eyes. They don't live in your body. They are not you. Only you are you. And the person you've known longer than anybody you've ever known anyone is yourself. But that's the problem. A lot of people don't know themselves. And to get away from people pleasing, you have to know yourself. Okay. You have to know yourself. So, what are some practical ways to like trust in yourself and like getting outside of people pleasing? Number one, like I said, you have to get to know yourself. You have to take time with yourself to know yourself. Okay. And then if it's a particular thing that you want, and this is where manifestation comes into play. Okay. So, a part of manifesting, the first thing, if you're going to manifest anything on purpose, because you are manifesting either way, if you're going to manifest anything on purpose, number one, you have to decide what it is that you want. Okay. If you are waiting on people to tell you what you want, 9 times out of 10, you're a people pleaser. If you are a people pleaser, you're probably waiting on somebody to tell you what you want. You probably wait for people to tell you what you need. You probably wait for people to tell you what to do. You wait for people to tell you, oh, yeah, you should definitely live there. It's so loud. You probably wait for people to tell you, oh, yeah, you should definitely, yeah, girl, date him, be with him. You probably wait for somebody else to tell you, like, no, dog, that's your wife. That's the one right there. You probably wait for somebody to be like, I don't really see you doing account. No, I don't really see you in entertainment, but I can see you doing this though. Right? You're probably waiting. And whole time, either you don't know what you want or you are lying to yourself about what you want because you're afraid of like what people would think about you having the type of desires that you have and you wanting what you want, which again goes back to people pleasing, wanting to be accepted, wanting to, you know, be loved. That might be where it comes from, right? But you see, and you can't wait for people, okay? You can't wait for people because, like I said, people don't live your life. People are not you. You are you. And that's your power, okay? You are you. So you want to sit with yourself. Then you want to ask yourself what it is that you want, okay? Really sit with yourself and have an honest conversation like, this is what I really want. If it had nothing to do with money, if it had nothing to do with your age, if it had nothing to do with your weight, if it had nothing to do with whatever you think you need, whatever you think qualifies you and makes you worthy of even desiring what it is that you want to desire, what it is that you desire. If it had nothing to do with all of the limitations that you place upon yourself, what do you really want? Okay. Then when you sit with yourself and you really figure that out, then ask yourself, okay, well, you know, I wouldn't even say how, right? Because in manifestation, you don't, with intentionally manifesting, you don't worry about the how. You just tell yourself, this is what I want, and you assume that you have it. Okay. If you're going to intentionally manifest something, you have to be okay with not pleasing people. I have to be okay with people not even being okay with me talking about manifestation. Like, I had to just decide I'm okay with that. Like, I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay with you thinking that I'm off my rocker. I'm okay with you thinking that I'm practicing witchcraft. I'm okay with whatever comes to mind when you see my name associated with manifestation. I'm okay. I'm perfectly fine with that. Because I've learned number one how fickle people are. And then two, I've grown to be okay with making decisions in my life that people don't agree with. But I'm also okay with like standing alone. I'm okay with standing 10 toes down on what I believe. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with being the only one standing. I'm okay. And a lot of people are just not. And in order to come away from people pleasing, you have to be okay. You have to be okay with being misunderstood. You have to be okay with disappointing people. You have to be okay with being disapproved of. You have to. You have to be able to stand and look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, can I live with this? And that's another step. Once you sit with yourself, decide what you want, then ask yourself, okay, you know, if I that's what I want to call this next step. Sit with yourself, decide what you want. And then three, count up the cost. This has helped me take a lot of risk in my life. I always once I see something I want, I'm definitely like, okay, I want that. Like that thing is mine, honey. That right there, oh, that's mine. That's mine. I'm gonna get it. Okay. Once I figure out what it is that I want and I decide that it is mine, I'm going to have it. I'm going to get it. I'm going to do it. I I look at that thing and I say, okay, what do I need to get there? How do I get from here to there? Okay. Now, again, I said with manifestation, you don't worry about the how. Okay. You don't worry about the details, the middle, right? But this has just been my process heretofore. And it still kind of is my process. Okay. But I try not to be so logical. Okay. When it comes to manifesting on purpose, things that I like want to manifest. Okay. But just all through growing up. Okay. When I see something I want, I'm gonna get it, and I usually get it. But I always ask myself, like, okay, if I to get there, if I go this way, if I take route A is gonna come with sub bullet A, B, C, or D. Okay. If I take option B to get to the final destination, option B includes X, Y, Z, da da da. I weigh my options and I say, okay, which one can I live with? Which of these options, okay, if I go either way, what route can I like stand under? Like what are the consequences I'm willing to bear for the risk that I'm willing to take? Okay. So you want to decide what you want. You want to sit with yourself and really track with yourself about what it is that you want. You want to decide what it is that you want. And then you want to count up the cost. Okay. Count up the cost. If you want to move or whatever, like, sit with yourself and decide, okay, this is what I can do. This is just what is just like a non-negotiable. Like, no, I can't do that. Right. If I move to this city, this is what it's going to be like. Can I live with it? Right. Sit with you and decide, like, what's good for you, what's best for you, because you have to live with that, not nobody else. Weigh your options, count up the cost, and ask yourself, can I live with this? Okay. Peace is not always a sign that, you're in the right direction or you made the right decision, right? And chaos, okay, struggle, catastrophe is not always the indicator that you have made the wrong decision or the right decision or vice versa. It's not, right? Um, but the more you sit with yourself, the more you ask necessary questions for yourself and you be honest with yourself, the more prepared you become, okay, to take necessary risk. And the more risk you take, that is the more you become the more faith you build in yourself and the more you start to trust yourself when you start to make decisions for yourself. Okay. The truth is, you need to know this: everything always works out for you, but you have to believe that. Okay. I just gave you an affirmation. Everything always works out for you. If God is in you, okay, and you cannot fail, if God is in you, if God is in you and you are God, then everything works out for God because God is in control. God is the ultimate. He's the ultimate power. He's sovereign. God can never fail. Okay. So if you are with God and God is with you and God is inside of you and you are God because God is in you, you have the same DNA, you are made in the image and the likeness of God, then no matter what decision you make, it's all going to work out for your good anyway. Which is why I don't really understand. Like, I think I get where Christians are coming from when they're like, I don't know, should I go left? Should I go right? Like, I just don't want to be out of the will of God. It's like, okay, well, if your Bible is right, okay, if God is not a liar and all things work together for good to them who love the Lord and who are called according to his purpose, then no matter what decision you make, it's supposed to work for your good, right? So if all things work together for your good, all things work together. It ain't no clause to that. If all things work together for your good, then it really don't matter which way you go. It's like the outcome. You know that the end result is only good and not evil to bring you to an expected end, right? Or am I wrong? I didn't write it, okay? I didn't write the Bible. I wasn't even born. I was just a spirit in heaven, honey. I didn't write the Bible. But you see what I'm saying? Like you need to start to tell yourself. And the last step, okay, you need to start to tell yourself, I trust myself. I trust me. I used to say with like when it came to love and relationships that I didn't trust my judgment because of prior experiences, because of subconscious beliefs, right? But I changed all that. No, I trust myself. I can make good decisions. And then if I'm not sure what decision to make, I just go check in with myself. I go check in with God who is in me. And so we just sitting and we checking in, right? But you have to start to change your language. Stop saying, oh my God, I never do anything right. Oh my God, I'm so slow. Like, I don't even know why I did that. Or why did I do that? Like, I just be doing stuff. Stop. Change your language about yourself. Imagine you, okay? Imagine you being you. And imagine, I don't know, somebody you love or somebody looking up to you. And they're telling you, what's wrong with you? Did you just see what you just did? Why would you do that? Like, you're so slow. Like, you're so stupid. Why did you even think to do? Why would you even, right? If somebody else that you loved or somebody, a stranger, whatever, somebody was talking to you like that, would you take that? If you saw somebody else talking to somebody else like that, would you feel bad? Would you feel like, oh my God, like they so mean, right? A lot of times that's you talking to you. Why did you even think you can do that? Like, look at you. Like, what made you think like you sow this, you sow that, you sow like it's all negative and it's all coming from you to you. And then you wonder why you can't make decisions because you abuse yourself. You harm yourself by your inner self talk about yourself. That's why you don't trust yourself because you have a very poor, abusive relationship with yourself. So when it comes time to making decisions, your body don't even know how to respond because all you do is abuse it with your words. So your nervous system is going haywire because it don't know what to do because you abuse you. Even if that's learned behavior, like you're still doing it to yourself. And at some point you got to stop. And you got to start by telling yourself, you know what? First of all, regulate your nervous system, take some deep breaths, and tell yourself, look, this is what we want to do. Okay. So, first of all, before I do anything, I believe that I can do this. I believe I can do it. After you tell yourself that a few more times, tell yourself, I am doing it. Matter of fact, it's already done. I am successful. I know what I'm doing. I'm worthy of this thing. I'm worthy to have this. I can do this. I know exactly what to do because I trust myself. You will hear a voice behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it. Okay. At some point, you're going to have to make decisions for yourself because at some point, you're going to have to be able to trust yourself. Because as long as you are controlled by people, as long as you want to please people, as long as you want to be approved by people, as long as you want to be accepted by people, as long as you want to please people, you will always be controlled by people. And the crazy part is 9 times out of 10, the same people pulling the strings on your life, your love life, who you date, who you not dating, what school you go to, what type of friends you have. 9 times out of 10, those same people don't have control over their own life. Now, I'm not saying don't give people that you can trust room to speak in your life, to, you know, give their advice, to give their opinions. But I am saying that at the end of the day, when you're done having meetings and calling people and sitting and talking to people about whatever, the only person that can really make the decision is you because you are the only thinker in your reality. You are the deciding factor. Like it's you. You get to decide. You get to decide what you experience. You get to decide what type of circumstances you want to live under. You get to decide what goes on in your world because this is your world. Nobody else is living in your body. I want you to hear that. Nobody else. A person can't unzip their body and come zip themselves up into yours. It's your body. It's your body. It's your life. It's you. It's you in the mirror. It's you. And so it's time for you to trust you and stop putting power outside of you into the hands of your mama, your sisters, your pastor, your prophet, your boyfriend's mama, uh, the teacher, the people from your past who told you that you were never gonna be nothing. It's time to stop putting power in the number that you see when you step on the scale. It's time to stop putting power in social media and the amount of likes you have, the amount of followers you have, the amount of subscribers you have. Like, stop putting power in everything outside of you when the power is in you. It's time, or you just gonna waste time being controlled by every circumstance, every emotion, and every person out here that ain't you. Imagine that. It's just a very unstable life. And a lot of people are very unstable because you keep putting your power in other things when the power is in the mirror, it's in you. Okay. So that's how you stop being a people pleaser. It's time. I know, some days are better than the other days, but now you got a good launching pad to start off of. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. I want you to be free. I want you to be free. Because when you die, and you will, it's important to every man to die at least once. Because it only takes one time. No, some people do come back from death, but then other people don't. Some people don't. Okay. You might die and you may not get a second chance at life. So while you are alive, be intentional about your days and take your days out of other people's hands and put it in your hands. Okay? Figure out what you want. Be honest with what you want. When you decide what you want, decide that it's already yours. Decide that you are limitless, that you deserve everything good. You deserve everything that you desire. Okay? All right? Sitting with yourself is also going to help you find your purpose. But that can be another video. I got time. But that's all I got for you, okay? All right. So if you need to reach me, you can find me at Instagram at TavonaStarO, Facebook TavonaStarO, TikTok TavonaStar. It might be an O at the end. I'm not really sure. But also, I do have a workshop called Manifested Finesse. If you are interested in manifesting anything, money, SP, business success, physical appearance changes. If you want to work more on your subconcept and you need resources to help you do all of that, I'm going to put the link in the description box below. But this is it, okay? I believe in you, all right? And you believe in yourself too. Tell yourself that. And it's going to be all good, okay? See you.